I wanted to first start off with, so DEI, it's Women's Month, and it's also, a DE and I focused kind of theme that we're going to go with. So
Wonderful.
so I wanted to first talk to you a bit about the recruitment strategy for women. Specifically, like when you're looking to, like how does it work?
Yeah, so it really starts with the job description first for what you're hiring for. We want to make it inclusive for all, but really try to steer away from topics that are going to feel that they're not qualified. So we want to be inclusive with our job descriptions. We want to talk more about collaboration and more about what you're going to be doing in this role, less about, the skills you need to come into that are required day one. We've noticed when doing a lot of research that there's a discrepancy in the roles that women will apply to versus men based on, if they don't have all 100% matches for the hard skills. So we really want to try to tailor those job descriptions to be more inclusive and more about, day in, day out, what you're going to be doing, the career growth trajectory of this role, as well as the company culture and benefits that are involved in the company that you're applying for, to really draw them in to want to have that conversation with the recruiter first. So that's where we start. And then just having that conversation, talking about their career goals, what's important to them. I've noticed when I'm talking to women and those who identify as women, yes, they want a role that matches their skill sets and their goals for career progression, but they really want to talk about the company culture and the benefits that are involved, and the potential for hybrid or remote work is really important to them, I've noticed. So it's a really great conversation to really just understand what they're looking for and what's important to them.
Yeah. And when you're getting applications, are you still seeing a higher volume of male applicants versus female applicants in tech?
Yes, there's still a higher volume, but we want, as the job descriptions are getting more and more tailored to the less required, more involved in collaborative, those numbers are increasing.
Okay. That's really cool. Is there, so when you're interviewing, is there like a number one of the things that you've just described? Is there one thing that might beat out another in a benefit? Like, is it the remote work? Is it hybrid, or is it equity and pay?
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of it is the hybrid work environment. Equity and pay is up there. Company culture, the efforts that the companies themselves are putting into diversity and inclusion, the other benefits outside of the typical, medical, dental, and vision. They want to talk about, do you offer fertility benefits? Do you offer, work from home stipend? What other, do you have flexible annual leave? So there's a lot of other things that, while this hard skills and wanting to be, move up in their career and have, equitable pay to the males in their work environment, the culture questions tend to come first and foremost as kind of a top priority to a lot of the women I speak to.
Oh, that's, I can imagine, especially since our world changed. It's like, to have that work-life balance, which is so key.
It is, yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Would you say there are any challenges in recruiting women? Like, I mean, I don't know if you would specifically hire like a role, like you look at all candidates.
Exactly. The best candidate for the job that, fits with not only their skills, but with the company and what they're looking for at the time is going to get the job. But I have noticed, and I did touch on a little bit, getting women and even other diverse candidates to have the conversation, if it's not going to happen unless they apply for the job.
Yeah.
So getting them to apply to the job or be open to a conversation if I'm outside sourcing based on our job descriptions and, I have 5 out of the 10 skill sets under my belt and I'm learning 2 of them. So I don't know if I'm going to be a fit. Getting them to still consider it is a big hurdle that we're tackling every single day. So, and it's really exciting that, I would probably say in the last 2 or 3 years, it's a smaller hurdle for me while recruiting, to get women and those who identify as women and diverse candidates to still have that conversation, even though they may not have 100% of the skill sets that are required, but they're willing to learn, or they're taking classes on them. So that initial conversation, I can't stress enough how important it is.
Yeah, I like that because I came from a traditional media background with less of the technology piece, and I had to transition my career. And it's interesting, it wasn't, it was actually coming to this company where I had someone reach out to me to really just say, you might not have X, Y, and Z, but if you trained or you can learn, I would never have thought in a million years like that I could, transition to a full tech company, from where I was. So it helped tremendously. And I'm so grateful I listened to the recruiter who worked with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other, soft skills or even hard skills that you may not consider that can be transferable to a new job with a new company too. And it's, you may not think about it right away, or, I've dabbled in XYZ or HTML, but I've never thought of doing it professionally.
Right.
And, let's just talk about it and see if it would be a good fit.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. So what advice would you give women working with a recruiter? And should women look out to, or anyone viewing actually, should people try and pursue a recruiter or wait for a recruiter to reach out?
Don't wait. Do not wait. There's a lot of different ways to approach getting a new job, whether you are actively searching and applying on Dice, or reaching out to staffing firms and talking to recruiters, or if you're passive in the job market and, then you have recruiters contacting you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different ways that the job search is approached, and it is a full-time job in and of itself if you're active in the market. Yeah. But I would just advise to be open and to have those conversations, and to be really upfront with what it is you want to do, what you're looking for. Don't settle if you're being asked to do a job that you did 3 years ago and you're really ready for that next step. It's worth it to keep having those conversations.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because that was always, I get asked that a lot actually by my friends of well, how do you connect with a recruiter? And
networking is great too. LinkedIn, a little bit of a plug, or even on Dice. There's a lot of ways I know that you can connect with recruiters and companies now that you're interested in, or that have similar values, or their culture has really stood out to you, or you've heard wonderful things about these companies. Connect with them or follow them, and you can network is a really great piece to even if there's not an open job currently, but setting up those relationships and communicating is really going to help you go from point A to B a lot quicker, I think. Oh, great. Yeah, that's very, very cool. Very cool. Oh, yes, we should bring up the article. We're going to get some production help behind the scenes today. So we have, yes, so we've got kind of along the same lines of what we've just been talking about, actually. So it's a wonderful article. I read it, and it's very insightful. Yeah. So discussing the pay disparity. Please do follow along. If you click on or take a QR link photo, you can follow along with us on this. But as you can see, we've got, obviously ranking very high: college reimbursement, fertility, pet benefits. Pet benefits is a big one I've seen a lot. Yeah. I mentioned fertility. I would say probably the attention that your company has to DEIB. Yeah. That's been increasingly more prevalent with all candidates across the board, really. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the women and those who identify as women that I talk to are really wanting a company that fosters that sense of belonging internally, as well as any external efforts that they have as well. So really focus on that. Yeah, great. Let's see. And the last thing I would ask is, let's see, your experience in technology in the workplace. How do you feel that the company you work for, or what
what do you do to promote DE&I?
Yeah. So my background is kind of funny. I started about 7 years ago as a recruiter for a federal contracting company. So I started as a user of DICE and a user of clearance jobs, actually. So it's a really come full circle that I now can support the company that is involved in all of these really innovative things that DICE is responsible for. So I feel really lucky to be able to contribute my skills to that.
Yeah.
I love talking to tech professionals. I learn something new every single day, and it helps me better understand the importance and the value that our platform serves to the tech community.
Yeah.
So I can add those little things that I learn into my next conversation with the next tech professional, and it just kind of helps me be a better recruiter. So it's
Awesome.
wonderful. Yeah.
Great.